Hello everyone and welcome to RaceRoom, and today we'll be checking out the new truck they added. As you can see the price down there, and we'll see if it's pretty good, pretty bad, how it handles, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it. It's about $4, $3.99 VRP, so let's see how it handles. Now I'd just like to mention that I will be doing this test drive, or what I call it, on a wheel and not a controller. I'll make a separate video for that, seeing if there's any major changes or if it's impossible to handle while on a controller. Now for first impressions, you will notice that the gearing is very confusing, to say the least. As you can see, the bottom UI says 16 while the actual truck says 8 gears. I'm going to guess that's just a weird ratio problem going on with the coding of the game, but we'll try to figure it out, as you can really rev out the gears a lot. Like, fourth gear does not stop revving until about 20 miles over where you should shift. But overall, this truck is quite grippy for what it is and how big it is. I'm guessing that's all those big tires in the back. But up next is a sound test, just so you can listen to it in the tunnel. So enjoy. Now what I love about this truck is when you shift up the gears, you can hear that huge turbo in the back going on and off, and especially as you're coming down the gears too, it sounds amazing. Now the only big problem that I have with this truck is probably what you expect, is that it is very top heavy, and that to get it to turn you kind of have to swing it into a corner while braking, and that kind of gives you a decent amount of grip, as we do run ride there. But it should all be fine as long as you get used to the power. As coming out the corners, you can stomp on the gas, just you will get a little bit of wheel spin, but due to the weight of the truck, it straightens itself out most of the time. And of course, this is all on the stock tune that RaceRoom gives you as soon as you go to test drive a truck or a car. So there's probably ways to tune this to better help with wheel spinning out of the corners, or maybe even turning in. I'm guessing by adding more camber to the front and less to the rear. Another big thing that I love about this truck is that the brakes on it are just surprisingly amazing. Like, it stops better than some GT3 cars, I believe, and that's saying some stuff about them, as I've tested the McLaren. And we're just going to fast forward through the straight here. Not much happens. Now when this does come to multiplayer, I imagine there will be a lot of angry punting going around, as it will take some time for people to get used to these trucks, as we've all been racing cars most of the time. But one thing I think that people will like is you can really ride the curbs with this truck. It will handle them very well, as you can see here. Well, we don't really ride it, but we kind of give it a little kiss on the edge. And we don't really lose any speed from that as you would in other cars. And once the tires and stuff get warmed up, this thing is pretty fun to handle and just toss around corners. And I do believe there is a livery contest going on Instagram in RaceRoom's profile about what the next livery for this truck should be, or what the main one should be when you buy it. And if you want to, you could go there. I'll probably put a link in the description, and you can submit if you want to. Now for these next 2 laps, I decided I would try to push the truck as much as I possibly could. As you can see here, we're trying to cut into the blue surface a little bit. And then for this corner, you want to brake really early if you can, just to slow the truck down, and then you kind of let off and then just roll it into the corner. And then you kind of have to use the gas to get this truck rotated sometimes, as the gearing feels a little bit awkward, or that's just me due to my lack of experience in this. And I can imagine that for controller players, this will be a very hard vehicle to master, especially with the gearing specifically, as on controllers I find that it's harder to find the right gear in the moment than it is on a wheel, as I have 2 big paddles, and usually people only have A and B, or X and Y. But coming down to the final corner, I like to let it rev out in 5th gear, then take the corner in 4th, as you get to put as much power as you want down on the exit. And coming on to the next lap, 5th gear is pretty good for these 2 chicanes right here, as you can ride the curb, as I said before. One thing I do love about this truck, I know I said that a lot, is how much you can actually see behind you. I know for some GT3 cars you get the little camera on the dash, as you see here, But along with the add-ons I have, I can pretty much see everything going on behind me, which I feel is going to be very important, especially when racing these big trucks online. You don't want to accidentally not see a dive bomb coming and then you're both in a wall with 12,000 pounds of metal. And as for that, I would highly encourage you guys go check out the truck itself. It's free to test drive as many times as you want on about 4 to 5 circuits, I believe, with different layouts on each. And it'll be pretty fun to see if it's worth buying or not. It's only about $5 or $3.99 VRP, I believe. Overall, the truck is pretty fun. Now, the last thing I want to do here in this video is test out how good the braking is. So we're going to use this straight to get up to about our top speed, which I think is like 150 kilometers an hour. And then we're going to slam on the brakes and you can judge for yourself how well it is. I would say that's some pretty good braking, and at the end of the video I'd just like to say thank you for watching and be sure to subscribe if you want more videos like this, and see you later.